Hello 啊，外网的亲朋好友们。Today, I miss my grandpa. He is, without a doubt, the crowning reason why I consider my mom one of the luckiest girls on earth. He's the kind of guy who would, during the Cultural Revolution, take her out to get a perm when she was still a little kid. And one of the things that he makes so beautifully well is a Shanghainese classic that translates roughly into vegetable rice, which doesn't do it justice. In Chinese, it's mostly called cai fan. But to any real Shanghainese person, it's called or salty bits rice, which is also not doing it justice. What it is chunks of very heavily aged Chinese ham, are facsimile to prosciutto, but usually used in a cooked application, laced through a very, very steamy bed of rice that's been seasoned with fresh hog's fat. And then that is bejeweled with bits of what you guys would call bok choy, or what we would call Shanghai Qing. This recipe is elegant, finessed, simple, and confident. The ability to make this quickly and well shows that you care about details and patience is a virtue to you. And also, it is fucking delicious. Today, we're gonna do this 4-ingredient rice. If this recipe was any simpler, you would ride the short bus to school and need help wiping. So please, follow along, because if you don't, it'll be over. Start with your Shanghai Qing. Break it open. If you're in the West, it's probably already come washed, so you don't need to actually wash it like a fucking peasant. But if you're on the mainland or in any country where food still looks like food, break it open with your hands and then give her a rinse, because there's gonna be bugs and maybe some dirt in between the leaves. I only do it when there's actual shit in them. Yeah, like if they come clean, then I'm not going to. But if they're clean, then what's the fucking point? I'm just wasting water and time, right? The eagle-eyed viewers amongst you will be like, damn, Cadence, you didn't wash that at all. You just got them wet, and you would be right. And the reason is because I'm going to salt these after chopping them up, and then rinse them of their excess salt later. So it's gonna be a second wash. So I'm not too concerned with getting a really good wash on them right now just quite yet. My grandpa believes that this dish is meant to look pretty as well as taste pretty. Essentially, most recipes would dictate that you chop your bok choy or Shanghai Qing up into a rough chop, just like this. Can be some big, some small, doesn't really matter. You want a nice range of texture out of your veg. And traditional recipes would dictate that you chop this up, mix it in with your rice, and cook it with your rice and ham. But that's gonna make it go olive and gross and yellow. And my grandpa gives a shit, so he would chop it up, cure it and salt it first, squeeze it of its excess moisture, and then garnish it in the mostly cooked rice, fold it through, and let the carryover temperature of the rice do the cooking. So you end up with really crispy green vegetables that are still nice and bright. No, 就拿盐. No, after you've already cured them with the salt, they will wilt down, so it won't be a completely crispy raw texture. And then the heat of the rice will take it the rest of the way. While I'm doing this, let me explain to you the only other steps. Wash your rice and chop up your Chinese ham and soak it in water to get rid of most of the salt. This is very, very heavily cured. So please, please, please soak this before you use it, or you will blow your fucking tongue out at how salty this is.
其实除了用盐腌这个青菜跟咸肉之外，它不会再额外放其他的盐。
This is a cured meat, so essentially it's made very similarly in concept to prosciutto or bresaola, right? You rub it with a really, well, bresaola at least, you kind of like put some alcohol in there and then you dry it out with a lot of salt. The only difference is that this is not meant to be eaten raw. China doesn't have, traditionally, a ham meant to be eaten raw. It's all meant to be a seasoning. So this is used more like how Russians would use salma. This is a seasoning, a meat seasoning. It's not meant to be an eating protein.
我们家做这个菜的时候，以前放的是腊肠。
No, I've seen that as well. I don't think there's anything wrong with using 腊肠, but I prefer to use this flavor.
So it's a celebratory dish for you guys.
Not a celebration. It's to remind you that eating should not be normal every day. Because it's still easy to make. It's effectively just a flavored rice. We make this At least my grandpa did, because every now and then dinner should be special for no reason.
My mom.
Your mom cooks?
Yeah.
This was before they got married?
No.
Where your dad wasn't home?
Yeah.
Got it. So I don't mean to be sexist. It's just that like when a Shanghainese woman tells me that her mom cooked, I'm like, oh my God, what happened?
Yeah, something happened.
Did someone
Yeah.
get cancer? Like what?
那前年的时候，我妈妈第一次做这个菜，但很开心。她说：“哇，我做成功了。”
When Shanghainese women get to a certain age in life, they start experimenting with all the things they never used to do. Like my mom. My mom now in her kitchen has like 20 avocado seeds that she's waiting to turn into trees. My mom doesn't eat avocados. She just likes the idea of having avocado trees. Bored old Shanghainese ladies, man. They've already won. They've already finished the game. What else are they gonna do? They're just on side quests now. So, heavily salt your bok choy or Shanghai tiu. And then immediately you'll feel them start releasing their water and their juices. Go in there and give them a massage. Give them a nice squishy squish, crunchy crunch. And then we're gonna let that hang out on the side and bleed out some of its own moisture. At which point we're gonna start preparing the other things. Like I said, don't blink or it will be over. So in here, I'm going to wash my rice. You can use whatever the hell rice you wish. Jasmine, basmati, canarole, arborio. I'm gonna use essentially like cha tanting rice. Not long grain, not short grain. The rice that everybody eats. The one that you never talk about. If it was a northern dish, I'd use wuchangmi, a rice from the north, but this is supposed to be an everyday sort of, not poor people, but everyday working class, you know, rice. Rice can get very expensive, by the way. Don't ever think that all Chinese rice is just Chinese rice.
So what is the most expensive rice here?
The most expensive rice in China currently is whatever rice the Chaoshan people are selling.
Sneaky Cantonese.
Sneaky Cantonese people. If a Teochew person wants to sell it, it's because they know it can sell. Right? Northerners are known in the country as a stereotype that Northerners don't know how to do business. We're dumb barbarians. All we do is like fucking cut trees, wrestle bears, and drink. Right? And like we just talk about pussy and mining. Like that's like Northerners, right? But the Southerners, like they'll sell the blunt end of a toothpick if it makes them money. They'll sell the end of a shoelace if it means they'll make money. Teochew person has to go out for work, and then goes to the north, goes to any restaurant, has really delicious rice. Wow, 你们这里这个饭卖多少钱? Then the northern goes, oh, 就那么几块钱. Wow, 那么便宜. And then he takes it by the fucking truckload and sells it to the country at a 5,000% markup. When I was a kid and I went to like northern Dongbei, like the big like bulk warehouse fucking wet markets, it would be where I'm from, half Teochew people. And Teochew people would, in their Teochew accent, speak like northern Mandarin.
Like what?
没毛病. 没毛病啊.
我看你洗了半天，这个米是要洗得很干净吗？
My grandpa would do.
Okay.
If I had to guess, it's because when you wash rice, it's not actually to make it clean. It's to get rid of some of the surface starches so that when you cook, the water that you put into the pot won't then become a starch sludge. Because the dustiness, the milkiness that comes off of rice is free starch. And when that cooks, it becomes a sludge. And then when that evaporates, it becomes a crispy bottom, which is not the effect you want. You want the rice to be busting apart, right? 粒粒分明, or every grain of itself, right? So the cleaner you can make your rice, the more separated it will be, yeah? Now, taste the water. Ooh, that's fucking salty. Okay, good. All right, so this is my unsalted salty ham.
所以这个东西的比例大概是多少？
As much or as little as you want. There's no real recipe. Just the more you put in, the more you should soak it to get rid of the salt. But other than that, there's really nothing to be too careful of, right? It's your food, it's up to you, right? My grandpa would always be generous with the amount of ham in here. You want to mix it up because if you have all the ham on top, it'll crush the rice and it won't give it time to bubble up and stand up and fluff out. You don't want anything heavy on top. You want the rice to expand and grow upwards. So mix it around so it's within the rice instead of on top of the rice. For those of you who are asking, this is the kind of ham you want.
金乌虎贴。
Those 4 words are so ugly in Shanghainese. 金华火鸡乌模团, 金乌模团. There are so many phrases in Shanghainese that sound super pretty. That's not one of them. This is the 4th ingredient. Delicious, delicious lard. You can create your own if you so wish. I don't think that anybody should. And you want to be Very, very generous. Remember, this is enough for about 8 people. And this is a 428 gram can, so nears makes no difference a pound, which means that you want to make sure that everybody has a nice little spoonful of lard. So I put in maybe 200 grams, which means, not even, just shy of 200 grams, which means that everybody can get like maybe like 20, not that much. This is less fat than Jamie Olive Gordon. Put a little bit of olive oil on top, or Gordon Ramsay, put a little bit of olive oil on top. Ugh. So water goes in, and then this goes in for a cook. Yes! Cool, perfect. I will see you guys in 15 minutes. See, this is what happens when you make bad jokes. I get distracted and I injure myself.
I just remembered.
I know, it was good when I told it. Ow. That fucking sucked.
Do you need some ice?
I will, but not on camera.
Okay.
You will never catch me using ice on camera. While that's venting, redo your hair. And at this point, you have to start considering some serving suggestions. I recommend you serve it into your mouth. You could shove it directly up your ass, throw it in a blender, turn it into a paste, and blow it up a main vein. Well, the point I'm trying to make is this dish doesn't require any garnishing or fixing or after the fact zhuzhing up. Out of the pot, it's ready to go. Here are the wilted bak choy or shanghai that we're going to be using to bejewel our rice. Come on! I've run out of things to say and my hand hurts. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Oh, delicious. Now at this point, while the rice is still hot and a bit sticky, you want to go in there and loosen her up a little bit in preparation for your veg. If you so wish, feel free to undercook your rice if you're afraid of this being a squishy mess. At which point, you just slap the lid on and let the residual heat take care of the rest of the cook. Give it 2-3 minutes and you're ready to go. All right, 2-3 minutes later and you have one of my favorite color combinations on earth. Ham pink, white rice, and beautiful, luscious, deep green veg. Now, if you like a crispy bottom, I recommend that you do this dish inside a flat-bottomed pot like a sautoir or sauteuse, I still can't remember. If you prefer it to be a much stickier sort of a hog fat texture, then all you really want is to put it into a rice cooker. This is how I would have this dish. It doesn't look impressive. It doesn't look like it's a big deal. But I guarantee you, this is one of those perfect marriages, those everlasting, time-honored combinations that just never seems to go away. Here. I'm gonna show my mom later. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Join me next week for the next time I feel like I have something slightly racist to say about some food while cooking something that you already know how to cook probably. Comment, like, subscribe. All that typical YouTube algorithm bullshit. Help me out so I can have another source of income. That's enough bullshit from me. Take care. Thanks for watching. I'll see you for the next one.